Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum.
Oh yes. Please come in.
Hello.
Hello.
Thanks.
Take a seat. So you're Sophia, right?
Yes, I'm Sophia.
You are
I'm Sephora, Sophia's friend.
Sophia's friend. Okay. So Sophia, you have worked about a few months, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So I want to ask you if you want to deduct MTD from your monthly employment income.
Deduct MTD.
Yeah.
Can I know what is MTD means?
So actually MTD is a mechanism in which employees deduct monthly tax payment from employment income of their employees such as you. Yeah.
Oh,
You understand?
MTD. I have no idea what is MTD means. So what does it really mean?
I just said that just now. How about you make a research by yourself?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I need to research.
Yes, because I'm kind of busy right now, so
Yeah, you should give me some time
to make a research.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Okay.
Thank you. By the way, Mr. Isaac, Mr. Isaac, do you know anybody here who have a knowledge about MTD? Because I need to seek an advice.
Anybody here? Wait a minute. I have an appointment this evening about at 3 p.m. So this meeting is with my friend from LHDN, and I think that you can ask him this evening if you're free.
Oh, sure, at 3 p.m. Okay.
So, Mr. Hans, I just heard about your company problem on GST. Can you tell me about it?
Actually, there are not a lot of problems. There are a bit, but the auditors have taken care about the
it's
matter.
about your auditors.
Yes, and auditors. So, can you give us some time to take care about the matter?
Oh, sure. No problem.
Alright. Yes. Please come in. Yeah. Yes. Oh, okay. Sophia.
How are you?
We're fine. Thank you.
Which
Take a seat. Yes. This is Sophia, the one I've talked about before. She needs to learn about about MTD, about responsibilities of a taxpayer, and all related stuff. Can you explain to her about the matter?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sophia.
Yes,
Yeah, she's
I'm Hans.
So Hans.
Hans. Hi, I'm Hans. I'm from LHDN. My office is at Ampang, Kuala Lumpur. Actually, I come here for.
Sorry for the interruption.
Oh,
Okay. Hello. Yeah. I will do that. Sorry guys, I need to go for a few minutes. Can you give me an excuse?
Oh, sure.
oh, I think it's better if I sit here. Okay, the basic thing that we will go through is register, update, check, declare and pay, rights, responsibility of employee, monthly tax deduction. We start with register.
Register. Okay. The first thing that Sophia should do as an employee is to register a tax file. She needs to check whether she is eligible to pay tax or not. The people that is eligible to pay tax for his or her income is people who receive annual income more than 34,001 ringgit per year. Married individual with non-working spouses receiving annual income of more than 46,001 ringgit per year. people that runs business, and new employee who is subjected to monthly tax deduction. There are two options for Sophia to register as taxpayer. First is registration through LHDN branch, and secondly registration via e-Daftar. Okay, the first one is register at LHDN branch. Sophia can find the nearest branch of LHDN to register tax file. She just needs to bring several documents, and the staff of LHDN will settle all the registration parts. So the documents that required for registration are a copy of the latest salary statement or latest salary slip, a copy of identification card, a passport, and a copy of marriage certificate. Registration via e-Daftar. e-Daftar is an application via internet for registration of income tax file for individuals and companies. First thing first, she need to check whether she already registered and have income tax file. Then she need to follow these steps. First, fill the online registration form. Next, upload all the required documents: passport for non-citizens, SSM, passport and business registration certificate for non-Malaysian residents that run business. Thirdly, make a check on application status using application number. Last is the number will be given after the online registration form received. For example, passport document. Notes when upload IC. Only name and IC number needed, so she just have to upload the front page of IC. The only accepted format for picture is .gif, also with the range size between 40 kilobytes to 60 kilobytes. Last, the file name have to use alphanumeric only, which consists of A to Z and 0 to 9. Need to be warned, e-Daftar application will be cancelled if there is no complete documentation is received within 14 days from the date of application. An applicant is required to recreate a new application with complete documents. The second one is update. Reason: you are advised to inform IRBM immediately for updating in your personal or partnership information such as correspondence address or residential address, contact number, marital status, changes of partners for partnership, and change of tax agent if applicable. Steps: the first step is updating personal particulars via e-Kemaskini, which are included phone numbers, address, mailing, home, business premise, and email, and name and bank account number for refund purpose if any. The second is update particulars with employer, which complete form TP1/TP3 for MTD information and send to employer. The third on relief, because it is updating the information on reliefs and rebates, e-Kemaskini. Documents: please use CP600B form for updating your correspondence address. For the purpose of updating your other personal information, you are required to forward a letter enclosing relevant documents to the respective branch via online by using e-Kemaskini or via feedback form. The next one is check. After settle the registration as a taxpayer, you need to make several checkups for confirmation. Check application status using the application number within 3 working days after submission of complete documents via e-Daftar. Check the records of tax transaction in e-Ledger. Firstly, make sure the amount deducted by employer is the exact amount remitted to LHDN. Secondly, make sure the MTD payment and CP500 show the correct figure. Thirdly, monitor the remaining tax balances, payment or tax overpaid. Certificate of Residence. A certificate of residence is issued to confirm the residence status of the taxpayer for the purpose of taxation. Malaysia has a network of double taxation agreement with her treaty partners. The COR enable the Malaysian tax residents to claim the tax benefit under DTA and to avoid being taxed twice on the same income. Application of the COR. There are two methods to apply for COR, namely manually or e-residence. Application of COR manually. Application for COR can be made to any branches of the IRBM. However, for the taxpayers of the Corporate Tax Department and Jalan Duta branch, the application should be submitted to the Department of International Taxation. The application that has been sent to CTD or BTB and GDB will be forwarded to the IT for processing. Declare and pay. This is the table of payment. And these are the types of payment. Comply with tax payment schedule. The first one is employment, which is monthly tax deduction. Other than employment, installment payment notice CP 500. Pay tax balance via Bayar Hasil or at appointed LHDNM agents. Documents. Particulars required for making payment. The first thing is income tax reference number, name and identification card number, year of assessment, payment code, installment number, and amount of payment. Rights as Malaysian taxpayer. These are all Sophia's rights as a taxpayer. The first one is to claim tax refund. Based on Section 111 of the Income Tax Act 1967, as a taxpayer you have the right to make a claim of tax refund. Interest at the rate of 2% per annum will be paid if the tax refund is made 90 days before the due date for refiling or documenting, or 120 days in case the return is filed manually. To appeal. Tax appeals means to resolve disagreements you have with the Inland Revenue Board of Malaysia, IRBM, or LHDNM that relate to items you report on your return. According to the law, you can appeal against an assessment within 30 days of the issue of the notice of assessment, and if you wish to appeal more than 30 days, then you need to file a form together with the reasons for the application to extend the time which the Director General of Income Tax or Special Commissioners will either approve or not. To correct error or mistake. A taxpayer has the right to correct errors and mistakes within 6 years after the end of the year of assessment. When a taxpayer finds out that there are errors or mistakes with his or her tax statement, then the taxpayer must inform the errors to the Inland Revenue Board of Malaysia. Then IRBM will correct and settle the process of correcting the errors. Based on Section 131, the Inland Revenue Board of Malaysia has assured tax professionals that the error and mistake provisions can be used to rectify genuine errors and mistakes by looking back with the events or situations that happened during 6-year time limit. Get notification. You have the right to be notified before your returns are audited and given enough opportunity and time to provide answers to the questions raised by the RIBM. Representation. The taxpayer has the right to be represented by a tax agent or a lawyer. These professionals can represent the taxpayer when dealing with the IRBM and be present in all meetings between the taxpayer and IRBM and give advice and guidance to the taxpayer throughout the period of the audit of his or her tax. Confidentiality. Under Section 138, every details of the taxpayer and his or tax audit given to the IRBM officers must be in a confidential or private manner. Exceptions are where the cases are being investigated under the Anti-Money Laundering Act, or where the court orders the IRBM to release information, or where the Auditor General needs the information in the course of carrying out his duties to audit the tax statement. Claims. The taxpayer also have the right to claim the reliefs, deductions, and incentives provided for him or her based on the tax legislation of Malaysia. It is always available to taxpayers, and in some cases, if an error or mistake occurred, he or she has the right to claim under Section 131, which can be made within the 6-year period. To be informed. The taxpayer has the right to be informed for the reasons of any additional taxes or penalties being made by the IRBM. Installments. The taxpayer has the right to request payment of tax by installments. The next one is Responsibilities of employee. The first one is to submit a TP3 form to the employer to notify information relating to his employment with previous employer in the current year. The second one is to submit a TP1 form to the employer if employee wishes to claim deductions and rebates in the relevant month. The deductions and rebate will be affected subject to approval by employer. Next, to submit a TP2 form if employee wishes to include benefits in kind and value of living accommodation as part of his monthly remuneration in ascertaining the MTD amount subject to approval by employer. To keep and retain in safe custody each and every receipt relating to claims of deductions for a period of 7 years from the end of the year of assessment under the Act. After that, to furnish complete and accurate personal information and update any changes of his personal particulars to the employer. And lastly, to furnish correct information in a prescribed form relating to his own chargeability to tax and failure by the employer to do so constitutes an offence under paragraph 113 underscore in paragraph 1 in paragraph B of the Act. Monthly tax deduction. So what is monthly tax deduction? Monthly tax deduction or MTD or PCB, potongan cukai bulanan, is a system of tax recovery where employers make deductions from their employees' income every month. PCB is a mechanism in which employers deduct monthly tax payments from the employment income of their employees. MTD is a deduction to reduce the employer's burden to pay in one lump sum. The MTD is normally not enough to cover the actual tax payable by taxpayers. These deductions are intended to reduce the employee's burden by making monthly tax payment in advance to IRBM. However, taxpayers still need to file the returns. The name of the file is Income Tax Return Form or ITRF. Next is PCB, an exemption from filing a tax return. You are still obligated to pay tax even though you pay MTD every month, unless you meet a few conditions. The conditions are: your only source of income is your employment income. You have been working for 12 months in the calendar year with the same employer. Your employer has been deducting MTD from your salary. Your employer is not paying any of your taxes. You have not chosen for a joint assessment with your spouse, and if any of those conditions are not met, then you must file a tax return. Benefits of filing a tax return. There are benefits if you file a personal income tax return. In certain cases, when you underpay your taxes for the year, filing a tax return will save you. Example, you still owe IRBM thousands of ringgit Malaysia of tax when you are about to retire. On the other hand, you may have overpaid taxes, and filing a tax return will allow you to claim a tax refund. For the conclusion. As conclusion, Sophia, you need to seek an advice from a person who has knowledge of the responsibilities and rights of individuals as a taxpayer. After that, the best way for Sophia to register is via e-Daftar, if Sophia is eligible as taxpayer. Next is Sophia is advised to inform IRBM immediately for updated in your personal or partnership information such as correspondence address or residential address, contact number, marital status, changes of partners for partnership, and change of tax agent if applicable. Once Sophia settles the registration as a taxpayer, she needs to make several checkups for her confirmation. Sophia must check application status using the application number within 3 working days after submission of complete documents via e-Daftar. Next is Sophia needs to declare how much she has earned during a particular year and how much tax she will have to pay. She also needs to know well the rights and responsibilities of employee as she will be the taxpayer. Lastly, Sophia has to pay tax by using monthly tax deduction, where it is a system of tax recovery where employers make deductions from their employees' income every month.
just online.
Yes.
That's good. Hans.
Yes,
Mr. Hans, thank you for your advice.
Oh, sure, no problems.